Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Nightmare Echoes. I'm your host, Eleazar. I'm joined again by co-host Jesse. Jesse, how's it going?
Pretty all right here on dry land.
Yeah. Today we're talking about Underwater. It was a 2020 released movie in January. It stars Kirsten Stewart. It's basically, I like to call, kind of like Aliens, but underwater.
Yeah, I actually thought the same thing.
Yeah.
I had that in my notes.
Its length was about 95 minutes. It was directed by William Eubank, who's known for a independent film called Love, which is sci-fi, and The Signal, which is sci-fi thriller. Its writers are Brian Duffield and Adam Kozad. But, like I said, it stars Kristen Stewart, who most famously I know from the Twilight franchise. She was also in Panic Room, The Snow White and the Huntsman, Charlie's Angels, and a movie called Speak from 2004. We have Captain Lucian, who's played by Vincent Cassel. He was in Black Swan, Ocean's 12. We have the character of Emily, played by Jessica Henwick, who's from the horror movie Cuckoo. She was in The Matrix Resurrections, Game of Thrones, Glass Onion, and Love and Monsters.
Glass Onion, what a title.
Yeah, it's that murder mystery with Daniel Craig.
Okay.
It's really good. Then we got John Gallagher Jr., who was in Hush. He's very creepy in that. He was in 10 Cloverfield Lane, which Margot and I covered. We have Mamodo Athri, who plays Rodrigo. He's from Jurassic Park, Dominion, The Circle, and Elemental. And then T.J. Miller, who I know from Cloverfield and Deadpool's 1 and 2, also Transformers. He plays Paul. I generally cannot stand these characters he plays, but I think this one grows on me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
As we watch it.
I kind of agree. There's a spectrum of assholitude, right? And I think he's just kind of on the side of he's not really a bad guy. He's just, sometimes his sense of humor goes a little overboard.
Right, I agree with you. It had an estimated budget of anywhere between 50 to 65 million, depending on who you ask, but only made a worldwide take-in of 40.9 million, so it flopped.
What, Underwater did?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, because I think it's a great movie.
Yeah, I'm really surprised to hear that. I
Is,
watched this and thought, this is great.
Yeah, I mean, I got it on Blu-ray. I showed my kids. My kids loved it, which I think was fun. Any movie that I could show my kids and have a good time watching with them,
yeah,
it's good. So, yeah, I'm shocked that it didn't do well. I would say that I didn't know about it until after its theatrical run.
It might have had something to do with COVID, and that might have interfered with the marketing in some way.
Well, it's January 2020.
Yeah.
A lot of times...
before.
Right. But a lot of times January movies just are set up to do poorly. Like people don't go out. Like people went out to the movies a lot during Christmas, and then January is like a calm season for the movies.
Sure.
There's the occasional rare movie that does really well in January, but this one wasn't one of them.
Well, that's too bad because I think it was well done.
Cool. Awesome. I'm glad you like it because I love it. So the movie starts with we get some newspaper articles about digging in the ocean within the credits. We continue to dive deeper to get to the station, which is deep underwater. It's the Kepler station with a crew of 316. We see inside the station that it's definitely lived in with a lot of pictures on the wall and things that are posted up, like flyers and stuff. Nora is our main character. She's played by Kirsten Stewart, has a voiceover talking about the sense of time and how you lose all sense of night and day when you're underwater. And the only difference is awake or dreaming.
Which you can't tell the difference between always either.
Right.
Which I thought was going to set up to be this are you dreaming, you don't know thing. And they never really went anywhere with that.
Yeah?
It's
Okay.
a little bit odd.
I mean, the voiceover comes back a little bit at the end.
I did want to point out, before we even got here, movies often spend a lot of their time early on just explaining things, giving you the background and setting up the location and what's happening.
Right.
And that's a lot of the time kind of a boring part of the movie. And this movie found a way of skipping that I thought was very clever. And that is, during the opening credits, they show you diagrams and snippets of newspaper articles that explain the whole situation and what the drilling base is and why it's there and give you all the background you need so they don't have to have a long, boring explanation.
Sure.
And in fact, we see right off the bat, they're immediately getting into the action.
Yeah.
Because they already gave us the explication in the credits.
Yeah, that's really good because older movies, even though I will say The Alien is a perfect movie, Alien has a long time before you get anything action.
Right.
But it's fun banter the crew, and we're learning the crew, and I think no time is wasted on anything boring.
Yeah.
But it's fun. But this movie is like, yeah, no, they figured out a way to deliver it. What's interesting, too, about those schematics is that the director said, we use those schematics to know where the characters would be and how to make sense within the movie. And in fact, the corridor that we see her, she's brushing her teeth in the bathroom, but she's about to walk into a corridor. That corridor originally was going to be straight, but when they saw the diagrams that they were given, they had the department curve the corridor. So it's like, oh, it needs to be curved. And so I think that was kind of cool that they were like, yeah, that those diagrams did a dual purpose of one telling the audience where we are and one telling us when we're making the movie where we are.
Yeah, it's clever. I really like that. I wouldn't be disappointed if more movies started trying to use that trick.
Sure. Yeah. We see a spider in the sink, which I'm like, how did you get there?
The same thing, right? Like it's kind of like is it a spider or daddy long legs? I don't know.
Something, right?
Something like that. I was thinking, like, how did you get there? She makes a comment about it too, right? She says, like, what are you doing here?
Yeah. So she has this very non-cynical view on life where she gets it on a paper towel and moves it so it doesn't die when she's using the sink.
I was trying to show how sweet she is, despite her kind of negative view of things.
Sure. I also think it sets up for how does a bigger form of life treat a small little insect.
That's a good point.
Which I think is interesting. We see the lights start to flicker, which from the reaction of her face doesn't seem normal. She walks in the corridor and she starts to see dripping water, which should not happen.
Definitely.
And then within seconds, the walls start to cave in. And the movie feels like it goes from 0 to 100 miles an hour in less than a second.
Yeah.
The shit hits the fan and she's running for her life.
And that's too bad because I really liked the look of the station interior.
Of course.
And I thought, I'm not like they have this cool 70s color scheme and everything. And it's kind of reminding me of a bunch of old sci-fi. And I'm like, oh, good. We're going to get to see this cool station for the rest of the movie, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
So floods of water is coming in. An AI voice is telling them that the structural integrity has been compromised. And she starts yelling, wake up, there's a breach. She's trying to wake everybody up. She's running. She runs into another crew member. They slide into a room with the terminal. And they're trying to get the door shut to save the rest of the station. The computer doesn't allow them to close it, so it uses this cool mechanical screwdriver to take out the screws and hot wire the wires to convince her to shut the door. And right before she does it, two people are running, and she's telling them to run faster and faster, but the water is overtaking them at a rate that it will reach them before the people do, so she has to close the door to save anybody else who has a chance of being alive still in the ship.
And I think that also serves the role of, once again, like we've already showed her kind-hearted side, now we're showing her practical side.
Yeah.
Right?
The other crew member, his name is Rodrigo. The water's still coming in. Then an explosion happens and sends them flying backwards, and they're knocked out. And we see from outside the ship that part of it has imploded on itself.
A lot of this reminds me of video games. I think this has to be inspired by video games,
Maybe.
right? I can't quite put my finger on it, but like the robot voice and the panels and
Sure.
I don't know. It just feels like something I would see in a game.
Yeah, okay, I like that. So as they wake up, we're experiencing how they would hear as they come back, because the AI voice is kind of muffled, then it becomes louder, and saying, to all Kepler station crew, structure failure is imminent. Repeat, structure failure is imminent. Every time the voice gets part of the speech that would explain the situation, the message gets garbled. She checks on Rodrigo. He thinks there might be an earthquake, but says it would have had to have been a 10 or 11 on the Richter scale. She tries to call control, but they don't answer. She starts trying to call a mayday, but no one still answers. And then the AI voice instructs everyone to get to escape pods, and they both hear the walls start buckling. Nora says that she should get to the bottom of this, and as they go to investigate, we hear corporate message reminding everybody that we're a family, followed by have a complaint, address it to your officer.
This also really makes me think of games like, Fallout and stuff
Sure.
like that, right? Like, I just really think it's...
It definitely reminds me of corporate life, though, because you always hear that message. We're a
that's
family. True. But I have a complaint. The things are falling apart around us, and we're all going to die. That's my complaint. They make it to a server room, which is very green until they turn the lights on. They take a beat to introduce themselves to each other, and they find out that he works in the day shift while she works the night shift. She asks him to lift her up into an opening in the computer, which is kind of crazy to me. She fits inside the computer.
in the rack. Yeah, through the rack.
Yeah, he asks if she's a computer engineer. She tells him she's a mechanical engineer. While she works, he tells her what happened wasn't her fault, and she could have saved the ship because he didn't know how to close that door. We then hear more structural crunching. He wonders if it's an earthquake. Could have really caused this, but she says she doesn't know.
again, the spaces and locations look really cool.
Yeah.
But they talk so fast. I had to turn on captions. This is a movie where you want captions. They talk fast. They kind of mutter.
Yeah.
This is a caption movie.
Sure. Okay. She finds that the antennas are gone, so they won't be able to contact anybody on the surface. And she finds that there are evac pods in CR7. On their way, there's a lot of rubble in the way, making them crawl at some points to continue on their path. A different AI voice, this one sounding like a male tour guide, tells them that this station is located near the Titan class station 1 mile away, which is the Roebuck. They work to find a path that they can both fit through. Nora hears a voice calling for help. She yells out to him to keep calling out. He says he's under a rock, so they work to free him. She knows him as Paul. This is TJ Miller. And his first words over his mouth are, "You sweet flash-chested elvish creature." And I'm like, really?
Yeah, see, he's on that spectrum of assholitude.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So she tells him that he just needs to breathe for a little bit because he's all good. They start moving again, and he notices how small it is, which is concerning because, as he puts it, he's a big boy.
Mm-hmm.
As they crawl, I'm having flashbacks to when Joseph and I covered The Descent, because in that film, it is also filmed very claustrophobic in nature. Nora finds a dead body of McClellan, and she has to help Rodrigo to focus on just crawling. They make it to CR7, which is completely lit in red, and inside is the captain, whose name is Lucian. They can't get into the door right away, and Rodrigo is concerned that he's just sitting there doing nothing. Nora notices that all escape pods have already gone. He calls them all by name, asking Nora to force the door open and instructing the other two men to check on the submarine. Lucian asks Nora, on a scale of 1 to 10, how messed up is the rig, and she says 10. Mm-hmm. She opens the door with ease, and he wants her to have a seat so he can look over her wounds, but she tells him that she is fine. And I jokingly said, yeah, but what do her looks have to do with this?
Yeah. Fair point.
She asks him if it was an earthquake, but he doesn't know, and he's still trying to figure it out. Nora asks why he's still there. He says that's because that's what captains are supposed to do. They stay with the ship. She's upset because he has a kid, and he should have gone anyway. And he tells her that he is going to get everyone out of here alive. But we get the impression that he got a bunch of people to these escape pods, and he sent all the escape pods that they had already. So he saved 22 people already to go to the surface.
They do a good job of making us like him, for sure.
Oh, yeah. He tells her that 7 have been reported dead, and she adds another 3 to that count with Lee, Travis, and McClellan. Nora seems panicked about all the people she left behind that door that she had to shut, but Lucian tells her that she needs to look forward. He has her calm and start doing a medical exam with her eyes, which reminds me of in Stargate SG-1, Window of Opportunity, when Jack says, "Tell me, what in my eyes could be causing this?" We get an exterior shot and hear Paul report to Lucian that the subs are not going to work. Nora makes it to her workstation, which looks like it's on a bridge of some kind. She finds 2 more crew that she normally works with, a biologist named Emily and an engineer named Liam Smith. They're happy to see her, but also don't know why all this is happening. She takes a seat at her desk, which you can see some pictures of her there with someone that she looks like she cares a lot about. Emily hands Nora some water, asking if the company has sent someone, which is when the captain walks in saying he is sure they already have, but he doesn't think they have enough time to just wait for them to get there.
Yeah, no kidding.
The captain asks Nora about the cooling towers, and she reports that the upper decks have all collapsed and that the core of the system is completely unstable. Everyone is a little panicked, talking about ways they're going to die, but the captain reins them in, telling them he has a plan.
I'm not sure what cooling tower... Does that imply that they have a nuclear reactor at the center of the...
I think so, because I think we see it in the other one, right?
Yeah, I think that's what they're implying. I don't know what else it could be.
But the way he puts it, Paul has to say, "Captain, there better be a good punchline to this, because the setup is weak." He tells them that they need to go to the Roebuck, which was set up a little bit earlier with that tour guide saying it was 1 mile away. He tells them they have to walk to get there, and no one is excited about it. He tells them that they will first need to go clean the scrubbers and then walk the shortest path, and then the place starts shaking again. Paul's very negative, says that they will be walking in pitch black to get there, asking if the rest of the crew really wants to do this. Nora adds that the suits are not made to be down there that long, and that not everyone is as experienced as a diver as her. Nora asks, "Can you just admit that we might die doing that?" And the captain replies, yeah, but can't you just admit that we might live doing that?
They keep going on about her being a pessimist.
Yeah.
But maybe I missed the point they were getting to with that, but I kind of didn't really understand how that wove itself into the tapestry of the plot.
So the pictures that we see at her desk are of her fiancé that passed away.
Right.
I think that just affected her
Yeah.
more. And I think it's all building up to that when we finally learn the story about her fiancé, how he went diving without her one day because she was too tired on a night dive and then was never found again.
Yeah.
Someone in the group asks if they could go to the shepherd station, but the captain says that it is abandoned. But this sets it up so we know that there's a shepherd station for later. Liam finds and plays a distress call that says that the earthquake was a category 10, and they also hear a really low growling play in the background. When they go to clean the machines, Paul puts on some loud music and is now ready to motivate everybody into doing this. They all have to lose more clothes to fit in these diving suits, which doesn't really make sense for the women because they're already tiny. But the movie is like, no, you have to be in your underwear. Trust us.
I do agree with the dude, though, that if you're that like scared and everything, you got to get fired up somehow.
Yeah.
Like I like the idea of the music.
Right. On the walls are pictures of mermaids or sirens. Emily seems the most panicked, and Liam is there to help her prepare by talking her through it. Paul notices that his underwear is ripped, and he's like, this too? Which I think is funny because the character he played in Big Hero 6 had a big joke about his underwear and how he wears it forwards, backwards, inside out, and inside out backwards before having to wash it.
That's disgusting.
And then Paul packs a stuffed bunny with him, which is a character in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
They move on to the room with the elevator that's going to take them down with the water. Liam grabs a weapon, which convinces Paul to grab one as well. Emily is convinced that she can't do it, and Liam asks her, what's the scariest part of the roller coaster? And he says that it's just waiting in line.
Which is a good line. And the music in this movie is also really good.
It is good.
Everything they're doing is setting up a good, strong sort of feeling of adventure here, and I like what they're doing.
They all get on the water elevator, and one level above them is starting to collapse. Paul says, when you don't know where you're going, any road could get you there. Nora tells him, dude, and he says it's not him, it's from a book, but she tells him that she doesn't think he could read. They start to lower, and the captain tells them all at once that they will have to jump to the cargo lift. Liam reports that the exterior hatch is ripped to shreds, so the pressure is about to hit them hard. Rodrigo's helmet starts to crack. Nora tries to stop the door, but the explosion from the door is enough to destroy his suit, blowing the rest of them out into the walkway. And there was a scene there where he looked at the helmet, and he might have actually switched it with Nora's to make sure she lived, and he didn't. I think he knew that his helmet was compromised. Emily is screaming, and Nora walks out to take the lead. Now they're in pitch black, and we might see swimming creatures at this point, but it's really quick. When they get to where the light's on, this is where they have to jump. So they jump to the cargo lift. Nora points out that she thinks Rodrigo knew that his helmet was faulty, and this transport is going to take them way further down.
I can't imagine that. Like, can you imagine being in a suit and you're that helpless? There's nothing around you but water, and then it cracks. Like,
you would just hopefully you die so fast that you don't get to feel much.
I guess.
Emily says she's never seen anyone die before, and Paul says that he has seen someone die, but he never saw someone implode.
Yeah.
Paul laughs, giving a positive memory of Rodrigo, who always claimed that he had a new joke, but it was always the same old joke. What do fish say when they bump into a brick wall? Damn.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That would be the logical thing for him to say.
This does make Emily giggle. They get a signal from the escape pod that doesn't have much energy, so they go to the surface, and they believe another ship might have a survivor. The captain says that someone is going to have to suit up, and Paul says, all right, Emily, it's your time. But, but he's just messing with her until he's willing to go. It was so good. It was a great line.
It was really funny. I think the fish joke may have had a second purpose.
Yeah?
Maybe. I'm not sure. But it does immediately bring up the mental image of natural creatures running into human technology, right? Like, it's kind of, they're trying to set up this theme, I feel like, already of nature versus human technology in the water.
I get it. He then gives Emily the plushie bunny, telling her that if he doesn't make it, he will haunt her. So if the bunny doesn't make it, Paul's going to haunt her.
I can understand that. He's very protective of his baby.
Right. And if I could take a tangent here, They had a real bunny on the set, and they had him hold a real bunny.
Mm-hmm.
And they had him believe that the bunny would be a character in the movie. And the stuffed bunny was only a placeholder, so that when they didn't need a real bunny on the set, he would be holding the stuffed bunny, so it looked like he was holding something.
Yeah.
But only the real bunny wouldn't be in camera. But the whole thing was a lie, and it was reversed. So the whole movie, he thinks he's filming this movie that he's taking care of a real live bunny, because they brought one, and they let him film some scenes with it. But it was all a prank to get the right kind of acting. They wanted him to act like this stuffed animal was a real bunny.
That's amazing.
And he did.
That's
and
amazing.
It's the funniest thing I heard from the commentary. That is awesomely horrible. It's so good. So, anyway, back to the movie. Both Liam and Paul go, and Paul wants to know what do they do if they find a dead body. The captain says it could be a survivor, but he says just in case. So Nora says just grab something of theirs that you can bring back to their family. And Liam says he knows what to do. Emily asks the captain how old his daughter is, and he says 14. But Nora points out that doesn't sound right. She's got to be my age. And he goes, oh, did I say 14? Oh, I must be just getting old. And he plays it off as if it's just stress.
And immediately you know something's up.
Something's wrong, right? Yeah. Okay. Paul says this is the worst idea ever, but let's do it anyway. The captain's watching on video and helps direct them. Liam asks, am I cracking up, or is there like a bird chirping right now? Paul reports that he can't see anything. When they find it, it looks like the pod imploded, but it has a weird stringy substance all over it. Paul says it is an algae. They find the wallet and a photo and credit cards. They do find the body, but its back looks weird, like something's growing in it. Mm-hmm. Then a creature jumps out and attacks Liam and Paul. The way it jumped out of the body reminds me of that scene in Aliens with the alien with the chest burster.
Yeah, it's very similar.
Paul fires, and we cut to them back in the cargo lift, placing the dead creature on the table.
What are they firing exactly? What are those things?
They had some kind of like pulse rifle.
You think they were actual guns? I assumed it was some kind of tool that they were just using as a gun.
They look like pulse rifles.
Well, maybe they were. I don't know why they would have that, though.
In case you ran into something.
That would seem to suggest they already knew that there was something there, which would be in keeping with the alien vibe.
They're not working for Whalen Yutani, so I'm not sure.
Are you sure?
Oh my! Emily examines it, and a jump scared everyone. It jumps up, but she thinks it's not alive, that she just touched a nerve. Nora reports that they are 200 meters from the bottom. The creature has no eyes, which it would be dark down there, so probably wouldn't need them. Liam says that since he shot it, he gets to name it. Emily theorizes how anyone could survive this deep, but it is interrupted by the cargo lift losing power. Nora theorizes how they can continue when they hear a sound like something walking on the outside of the ship. Paul thinks that it might be the worst time to ask, but does this small creature look like it could be a baby? Implying that what's on the ship might be the mama. Paul goes to a interior door which has a really thick window to look outside. The captain shines the light through that small window, and we see like an octopus-looking thing slam itself against it. That's when the Kepler station way above them explodes, and it detaches the track, sending the cargo lift down. As they're falling fast, they all work to put on their helmets and open the door so they can jump out. As they make it to the floor of the ocean, they attempt to dodge all the falling debris as they run towards the rowboat station.
Which is pretty freaking scary.
Yeah, how do you outrun a whole station falling on top of you?
Yeah, really.
When they make it, they see Liam's oxygen scrubber took a hit, which means Liam won't be able to breathe once he's back in the water. And if I haven't mentioned yet, these scrubbers they seem like these big capsules that are in the back of the suits are filled with like a blue liquid.
They say oxygen scrubber. That doesn't make any sense. You don't need to scrub oxygen. You scrub the CO2. I'm sure they intended the idea of a CO2 scrubber, but they just said it
the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like other movies have said it that way too.
You think?
I think so. I wonder. I think Event Horizon called them oxygen scrubbers too. Maybe they got it right though. I don't know. I'd have to recheck.
I don't either. But they didn't say CO2 scrubber, and I think they should have.
Right. Paul is concerned because he saw some things out there. But when he hits a wall, more bangs come from outside, though the captain thinks it's just debris falling. The captain tells Nora to call a mover, and she goes to the control box, but she doesn't have the code in the lock. The captain gives her a gun, and she warns people to cover their ears. Paul is about to, he chooses not to, not cover his ears.
He says, oh, whatever.
And after she shoots, he seems to flinch and instantly regret that he didn't do it. She's able to call some sort of Land Rover transport vehicle through this tunnel. We get a card that says Deep Bore Access Tunnel, and the captain tells her to drive to the station. Nora drives them until they see that the water in the tunnel has gotten so high they can't drive anymore. The captain orders them to stop. We get a shot of the outside, which looks pretty beat up at this point. They worry that the pumps aren't doing their job, and when Emily asks what happens when they don't turn back on, Paul refers to Alice in Wonderland, saying that Alice almost drowned in her own tears, but luckily for her, she knew how to swim.
I don't understand what in the world that means.
Yeah, I don't know, but there are a lot of Alice in Wonderland references sprinkled in through this whole movie. Yeah. And the directors were like very inspired by Alice in Wonderland, they said.
I don't get it. I don't see the connection.
Maybe they refer to, they think Nora is Alice on a big crazy journey.
I don't know. It doesn't work for me.
Okay. Liam is now concerned that something on the outside is following them, and Paul comments that he's very close to shitting himself.
Very close. That means he already has. Let's be real.
As they walk, the water gets deeper. Paul finds someone's care package with an empty bag of Cheetos and an empty bag of liquor. Emily found a moon pie wrapper, which makes her realize that this is someone's stuff, and she looks like she's going to break down. The shot of the narrow corridor and wires hanging down in the dark reminds me of the shot from Aliens when Newt is walking through the water.
No, I definitely do see the connection to Aliens. Yeah. Even if I don't see the connection to Alice in Wonderland.
Right. When they're about 300 meters from their goal, they see the path is completely underwater. They all think they have to turn back, but Nora volunteers. Since she is the smallest, she puts her helmet on, and the captain connects a cord to her so they don't lose her. She swims through. It's very claustrophobic, but she comes out the other side and tells the group that the pathway is tight, but they should all be able to make it. Emily goes next, followed by the captain. As Paul and Liam wait, we see that Liam found a non-opened moon pie, and he offers it to Liam to give to his girl, which is Emily, since she mentioned she likes moon pies. Liam goes next, and Paul senses something is coming towards him, jumps in to go early. The group hears something weird on the radio and think he's pulling a joke on them. They all pull on him, and he appears stuck on his still attached line. He takes off his mask, but when something starts pulling on his cord, the team rush to put his helmet back on before he goes under. We watch as his leg is ripped off, and what we see from the water filled with blood into his helmet before the rest of him is yanked under. As Emily screams, the captain orders them all to get out of the water.
Yeah, that's not what you want. I think if you're in that situation, it's not ideal. I think they keep their calm better than most people would. Sure. Actually, in that situation.
So the first station they were at, they were 6 miles deep in the water. Now they're at the midway station, and we get a title card that says Poseidon-class bore site with a depth of 6.5 miles deep. The captain is trying to radio for help and reporting that the midway station is heavily damaged, and they're not sure how long it will last. Nora has the stuffed bunny and is asking after Paul. Liam wants to know what could have ripped him out of his suit. Liam then looks out at a drill that weighs 6,000 tons, asking how it could have gotten so damaged, and Emily theorizes that they drilled to the bottom of the ocean, they took too much, and that humanity is not meant to be down there. And Nora agrees with her.
The usual corny lines from 90s sci-fi movies.
Yeah, but this was 2020.
I know, but it has the feeling of a 90s sci-fi movie to me. It doesn't, aside from the corny environmentalist thing, it doesn't really have a message-first philosophy like modern horror movies, well, modern movies in general do.
Right.
And someone on YouTube left a comment about that. Like, actually, did you know that this script was floating around since the 90s? That's why it feels like a 90s movie. And I
didn't know that.
I don't know. It's just what someone said. So I don't know if it's really true. But it did kind of make sense to me there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you know what? How did those things get inside the station? I mean, inside the, whatever you want to call it, the tube?
I don't know.
Because if they had ripped a hole, you would think the vast pressure difference, right? That air would be gone.
I'm not sure. They reshut the door.
They're polite creatures.
So the captain notices that some window is cracked and says they need to move on. Emily asks Liam about his oxygen scrubber. The captain offers a look at it, and we see that it is smoking when he pulls it out.
Ooh, not good.
Yeah. As they walk again, the captain tells Liam that he can lean on him and just take shallow breaths. Inside his mask, it looks like he's going to pass out. The captain tells them things in the ocean floor are now following them, and it seems like a very slow, long journey. Then some humanoid creatures appear in front of Nora, and they're really good at swimming. The captain tells them to turn off the lights, and he turns on a special feed which he shares with the group.
And this is interesting because just as, like, how do you send images underwater? Like, you can't use radio waves because
They
it's
wouldn't travel in
saltwater.
the water?
Not in saltwater. It's conductive.
Wow.
You can't send. You could only send sound, really.
Interesting.
It's just.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's something people don't think about. Like, underwater is tough.
Okay. So Nora's able to see through this feed that the creature is behind her, but she turns around. It takes off with Liam. They all rush to find him, and when they do, he seems to be sleeping inside his suit. The captain is concerned that he's lost his gun, but Nora thinks they should just move on without it. When the captain finds it, a creature pulls him away, and since Nora is tethered to the captain, that yanks her away as well. She lands on a platform that is part of a station.
How convenient.
Yeah. The captain radios her, and she makes her way to him, but they are both unsure where they've ended up. Nora works to free him, and then another creature comes up, but swims away when she shines a light on it. It comes back fast, and when it does, we see that it's twice the size of her. It attempts to bite her helmet or shove her whole head in its mouth.
Yeah, it just kind of tries to swallow her.
Right, yeah. The captain jumps in, punching it, and it swims away, pulling him and brings her along. At first, I thought they were falling, but when the danger pressure delta alarm goes off, the captain says they're rising too fast, and they're both going to die from this. The captain tells her to let go. Right. Yeah, the captain tells her to let go, but when she says she can't, he presses the button to disconnect her, and his helmet is cracking. His suit implodes, and the pressure sends her down even faster.
And that's, at this point, it's like, dang, there going to be anyone left by the end of this movie,
Yeah. Nora wakes up with an alarm blaring because she is now low on oxygen. She calls for Emily and sees another creature maybe twice as big as the last one, and then sees that she's landed in front of the abandoned shepherd station. She rushes to turn on the power to the outside so she can use the door to get inside.
What is it about the name Shepherd as the name of a station of some kind? Always spelled wrong.
Yeah.
Always spelled wrong. It was the same thing, Shepherd Station or whatever it was in Cloverfield Paradox.
Yeah.
That was also Shepherd spelled wrong. And I don't know where this name is coming from. Maybe it's a deliberate homage. I mean, there are a lot of similarities. This could be a Cloverfield movie, honestly.
Sure.
Like, they could have called this Cloverfield 4. I get what
you're saying.
The Cloverfield Wetness. I don't know.
Right, but we didn't have the slush show Slurpee, so. So the title card tells us Shepherd Drill Abandoned Expeditionary Unit, depth 6.7 miles. Inside, she has the suit off and is on the floor crying in the shower. She sends a message out trying to contact Emily and Liam, telling her that she is in the Shepherd Station and there are no escape pods there, but there's breathable air. While she's sending the message, we're looking at a poster on the wall that reads, "Working alone is against policy. The buddy system works."
As if just to torture her.
Right, exactly.
I like this. It's another cool looking station, and I like that it looks different from the other one. And it gives us a little more lore, especially since the captain's clothes are in there too, so clearly they were all there at some point in the past.
Right. Something like 20 years ago or something.
Right.
Yeah. So she finds a picture of the captain looking much younger and with his stuff in the locker inside. She holds his shirt and feels something inside, and she pulls out a card reading "In loving memory of Ali Lucian, age 14," which explains why the captain answered earlier that his daughter was 14.
Yeah, she's 14 forever.
Yeah.
And he just never told him.
Yeah. She then looks at her oxygen scrubber, which looks used up, before looking for tools to see if there's anything useful. She studies the ocean floor and looks around for things she can use as weapons. She finds a large flare gun with 2 cartridges, and then we see that she still has the stuffed rabbit.
Well, that's good. Otherwise, she's going to get haunted.
Yeah, all right. Or Emily would have.
Well, that's true. We don't know if Emily's alive yet at this point, so...
Right. She leaves on her way to the Roebuck, and she's talking to Emily and Liam because she has nothing else to do, but just hopes that maybe they're alive and they can hear her. She says that she is following the markers towards the Roebuck, and then she hears a faint voice come through, which sounds like Emily. As she gets closer, Emily's voice is coming through, but Emily isn't responding to her. It seems like Emily is just talking to Liam about the qualities she likes in him. When she comes close enough to Emily, she thinks she's being attacked.
They never did answer why Emily couldn't hear her.
I think she just thinks it's... I think she's afraid that it's fake and she doesn't want to grasp onto something that's fake. She thinks she's losing her mind. That's what I got. Like, she knows Liam in front of her is real. This voice talking to me is not real. It's the ocean messing with my head. So I don't want to hope that that's real.
That's kind of weird.
That's how I felt about it.
Yeah.
So when she comes on, Emily thinks she's getting attacked, and Nora has to convince her to open her eyes. She's still with Liam. She doesn't think she did a good job, but Nora tells her she's so proud of her. She was walking them closer towards the roebuck. Emily asks about the captain, but Nora tells her just to grab Liam. We see them both walking slowly and pulling Liam along the ocean floor. We learn each of their dogs' names. Nora's was named Jim and was actually her fiance's dog. Emily asks if they split up, and Nora tells her that Liam was his best friend, and that one night she was too tired when he wanted to go diving, so she told him to go without her. But then when it got really late, she got worried and called for search and rescue, but they never found him. She made Liam promise to never talk about him while they were down here. She tells Emily to just keep pulling, and it isn't long before we see the lights of their destination.
And it looks as cool as you would hope the promised land to look.
It's beautiful. It's massive. It's huge.
It's awesome.
We get a title card that reads Roebuck Station, Triton-class bore site, depth 6.9 miles. They keep walking, and when we see a green light of the door, Nora notices a tunnel.
But you don't feel good about it because the music is telling you that you shouldn't be feeling good about it.
Right. So she notices they're in a tunnel that's been made from tentacles, and she instructs Emily to turn the lights off. They don't understand where they all came from, and they work to walk slowly to not touch anything so they're not detected. Right as they are under all of them, Emily's alarm sounds loudly, warning low oxygen levels detected.
Once again, urging them, well, you better go walk through the tentacles.
Right. Liam, who's still alive, mumbles, that's not good.
Well, unless you like tentacle porn, I guess.
Oh, my. A tentacle lands on Nora's helmet, and she tells Emily to go. The creature is attached to her, and again is trying to swallow her helmet whole. She seems to shoot a flare through its body, and she's able to crawl away. It isn't long before it sounds like more have started to notice her. She reloads the flare. Then, when something happens and all the creatures are pulled away with massive speed, Nora looks over to see a creature that looks to be hundreds of feet tall. She fires a flare to get a good look at it, and it seems to be even larger than it first looked. And at first viewing, I realized this was a secret H.P. Lovecraft movie about the ancient ones, the old ones, and this might actually be Cthulhu we're looking at right here.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Or, it's just another Cloverfield monster. And by the way, saving the Cloverfield for the very, end climactic scene of the movie was
genius.
It was, and very bold. Most people would not save it that long.
Yeah,
They kept this thing in their pocket the whole movie.
Right.
That was nice.
Right, and I had a great conversation with my middle kid Jackson about this, and how about it's got the tentacles and everything, and it looks pretty good. And he had this whole debate about well, the author would know what he looked like. He's like, well, anybody that looked at it would go crazy. And he said, yes, but Dad, is the author telling us what he saw, or is the character in the book that the author wrote about telling us what he saw when he saw Cthulhu? It was a really good discussion that my kid, who was 10 at the time, had about how to perceive what the characters see when they see Cthulhu. It's amazing.
Although in this case, it might not be Cthulhu. It might just be the monster that inspired people to believe in Cthulhu.
Sure. And
right?
they say they definitely like the stories of the ancient ones. They named it something different in behind the scenes. They didn't call it Cthulhu.
They called it Cloverfield, probably, right?
They did not call it that. I don't remember what they called it, but I just thought it was good. To me, this is a secret movie about the ancient ones. And it did so, like you're saying, it did so great to reveal this at the very end of the movie. I freaking loved it.
And it finally explains why the space station collapsed the underwater station collapsed at the very beginning of the movie.
The tentacle hits the ground, causing an explosion, which sends Nora flying. This is the tentacle of this big old ancient being. So that's why Nora goes flying and knocks out. She wakes up. Emily is dragging both her and Liam to the roebuck. So Emily's all of a sudden a badass. With the lights on, she works to get everyone's helmets off so they can breathe again in the air. She starts with her own, which is the smartest thing because she passes out. She can't help anybody else.
Right. Just like when they tell you on the airplane to always put your mask on before helping others.
Right. When Nora's helmet is stuck, she works to smash the glass which takes a lot of strength because those things are made to survive in crazy amounts of depth.
Yeah, I was kind of about that, but okay, sure.
She's able to break through, and air rushes in, and Nora is able to breathe heavily. She then gets Liam's helmet off, and he seems to wake up pretty fast. They run as the computer tells them to rush to the nearest evacuation pods. They all look out to see this massive creature. As they try to run to another area, the creature keeps causing breaches, which keeps causing bulkheads to close. So that keeps happening. They always keep closing. But they make it to where escape pods are. The first pod deck seems to have already been used, and they have to run to another one. As soon as they find one that's working, Emily works to place Liam inside. Although he says, y'all go first. They say, no, you should go. You've been sick the longest. Just go. They shoot him up. We'd say the second one's working and the third one's damaged. Nora lies about having 3 of them that at work. That's what got Liam up. And now she's got to try to convince Emily to get in there. And she's like, no, I'll take the next one. Nora has to punch Emily in the face when Emily realizes that one's broken because she wants to stick around to help her fix it.
Right.
To get her in there and send her off.
When you have characters that are very good guy characters, they have to fight over who gets to sacrifice themselves.
Right. But she basically says that she would do anything for one more second with her fiancé. And since Emily still has Liam, she should go be with him.
Which I guess makes sense.
So Nora sends her up, and we see this small creature starts to chase the pods. Nora sits down in the control room, seemingly happy with what she's done. Then she notices the old one outside, and on the screen, the smaller ones are going towards the 2 pods, like on this display screen. We hear a voiceover telling us there are times that you have a feeling that you feel helpless, but sometimes you just have to stop feeling at all. An AI voice tells her the foreign object is approaching the pods and will reach them in about 60 seconds. Nora looks at the pods and back at the computer and pulls up the controls for the core. Her voiceover tells her that she's sitting on a lot of energy, which goes nowhere, and we see her setting up to explode the core.
I like how there's just an explode the core button, pretty much.
With no codes or security and no second person, are you sure?
Well,
right?
The company, again, going back to the company knew about these things all along, so they clearly built that in, assuming that would happen. No, but, I wonder if that's kind of a metaphorical thing they're saying, sitting on top of all this energy, doing nothing, like they're talking about people not making use of their full potential or something.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
So the computer calculates the blast radius, and then she starts, and it says meltdown in 1 minute. She looks out the old one and tells him that he has 60 seconds. He seems to sense this, or he reads her mind, because that's what ancient ones do, and he starts swimming upwards. The voiceover says, in the darkness, you lose your sense of time, so let's light this shit up. We see the explosion happen, and when we do, the radius encompasses the ancient one, but who knows if that actually killed it.
Yeah, not crazy about the sad ending, gotta be honest. I felt like it would have been nice if she had gone through some sort of transformation in the story, you know what I mean? Like if she had in some way overcome her demons, but I didn't really get that feeling. It's more like she's still cynical and depressed, and now she's just going to kill herself to at least save somebody else, which, okay, that's better than nothing, but it's kind of sad.
I really like the ending.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, just to end it, though, for the movie, we see newspaper articles that reads, 2 survivors rescued after drilling accident, followed by the subtitle, company denies access to employees for interviews.
How can they do that? How can you deny access to someone? You can't keep people prisoner.
They're a crazy corporation.
Apparently they have government powers.
Well, I mean, if they pay them enough money, you just remain in hiding. Don't talk. You're going to get lots of money. We have pictures of Liam holding the rabbit, smiling, and then an article that reads, suspicious abnormalities surround accident, with the subtitle, Titan Industry refuses to share details concerning drill collapse in Pacific. Then a shot of multiple files that have been classified. Then some photos of the bunny being measured, like if it's something supernatural. And then we have an article that says, Titan Industries to resume drilling, with the subtitle, details regarding previous accident still unclear.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about the cynical endings, but that's par for the course.
Sure, okay.
I still think it was a pretty good movie. They did everything right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was visually cool, music was good, the acting was really good, the story was interesting, and yeah, it takes you to another place for an hour and a half, and you're just in a place you could not have imagined.
Like you said, I love that the action started right away and it never let up.
Yeah.
There was just like a few moments of like, all right, breathe for a little bit, but we're getting right back to it.
Yep.
It was just continuous thrill ride the whole time.
It was very well done. I don't understand why it was a bomb. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it makes me sad because I really like it. Yeah. Well, thank you for being here, Jesse.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you all for listening. This has been Nightmare Echoes. We have episodes every Monday. Please leave us a 5-star review on your podcatcher of choice. We're doing a series of water horror movies. Then we're going to do a series of camping horror movies. And then we're going to do a small series of travel horror movies for this summer. So this is the first part of that little fun thing that we're doing. So hope you listen to us then. Bye.
All right. Stay above sea level.